Hi guys, welcome back. Today I'll be doing the Sisterhood of the World book tag, round 3. This was recently updated with new questions by Allie over at HardbackHoarder, and I was tagged by Steve Donahue. So there's 10 questions. I'm going to go ahead and get started. The first question is, what's your favorite song, and pick a book that relates to it. My favorite song, varies from year to year, but the one that kind of has been sticking with me for quite some time now is Birthday by the Crew Shadows. A lot of you probably have not heard of this band, so I'm going to put a link to their YouTube video down below. But the first part of the lyrics when it begins is, you roll out of bed and look in the mirror and wonder who you are. Another year has come and gone. Today is your birthday, but it might be the last day of your life. What will you do if tomorrow it's all gone? And for that, I went ahead and picked the book Tomboy by Liz Prince. It's a kind of a graphic memoir of her life growing up as a tomboy. And there's a little bit of a blurb back here, and I'm going to read this part, because this is where it kind of comes into play as to how I think this relates to the song. It says, Tomboy is a funny and relatable look at what every child has to deal with at some point, figuring out who you really are inside. So, you roll out of bed, look in the mirror, and wonder who you are, and that just sort of popped into my head first thing. So, that's my question, my answer for that question. Number 2 is give an LGBT plus or diverse book recommendation. I haven't really read a whole lot of books in this category, but I did read one very recently, which kind of stuck with me, and that was Symptoms of Being a Human. This is by Jeff Garvin, about a gender-fluid student having to deal with, like you wake up one day and you feel more feminine, and they wake up some days and feel more masculine, and they want to dress and express themselves that way, but of course, society, has to pop you in a box, male or female, and this is Riley kind of having to deal with this, and the threat of being outed when someone kind of discovers more about them. So, really good. I really enjoyed the book a lot. I'll talk more about it in my wrap-up for June. Number 3, what is your favorite morally gray character? I had to think about this one for a bit, but then I saw the light, and that's Light Yagami. This is from Death Note, that's the character right there. I'm going to read the synopsis because it'll really give you a good idea of what the character's like and what the situation is that we find him in within this series. Light Yagami is an ace student with great prospects, and he's bored out of his mind. But all that changes when he finds the Death Note, a notebook dropped by a rogue Shinigami death god. Any human whose name is written in the notebook dies, and now Light has vowed to use the power of the Death Note to rid the world of evil. Will Light's noble goal succeed, or will the Death Note turn him into the very thing he fights against? So, yeah, he starts to get a little carried away with going after criminals, and then he starts kind of pushing the boundaries of where do you draw the line as playing God, basically. So, yeah, morally great character there. Number 4, your biggest pet peeve with books. For me, there's several, but the one that stood out the most when I saw this question was movie covers. I mean, you've got a book that comes out, does it have to come out again with a movie cover? People from the movie on the cover. I have stacks and stacks of books at work because I have to have both versions of it on hand. I just think it's kind of pointless. And most people don't like the movie covers. Number 5, what is your favorite poem? I don't really read a lot of poems, but I'm a big Poe fan, Edgar Allan Poe, and my favorite poem of his is The Raven, hands down. Number 6, the last book you DNF'd and why? Fairly recently, maybe last year, that was S by Doug Dorst and J.J. Abrams. The reason I DNF'd it is because I got halfway through it and I was totally lost. It's sort of a book within a book. You're reading this old library type book, and within it people have written within the margins, so there's like another story going on where they're discussing who this mysterious author is of the book, and they start mentioning all these different characters, and I was losing track of it and trying to read the story and read the writings. It was hard to kind of keep track, so I'm not giving up totally on this. One of my subscribers mentioned that they read the book entirely through and then went back and read the writings, but then you're still going to have to read what they're underlying and what they're referring to, so we'll see. But I might just read The Ship of Theseus straight through and then go back and we'll see what happens. I'm just not ready to dive back into it yet. Number 7, what does a 5-star book have to have for you? Well, a very fascinating plot and great characters, and it better not have some crap ending like I've had some books and you're just all caught up in the storyline and everything, and then just the ending is just, you want to throw the book across the room. So, better hold me from beginning to end. Number 8, if you had to get a bookish tattoo, what would it be? I don't understand the question if I had to, because actually I want to. I've already got some plans to get one. I'm looking for something along the lines of old antique books, kind of slightly worn around the edges, maybe with Sherlock Holmes on the side or Edgar Allan Poe. I'm also thinking of just the words going around there, Once Upon a Midnight Dreary. We'll see. I have to kind of sketch something out or maybe work with a tattoo artist. I'm not sure when that will happen, but I have been thinking about it for some time. Number 9, if you had to pick one book to read forever, what would it be? God, that would be awful to have just one book, but if I had to pick one, it does say have to pick one, I went with the original illustrated Sherlock Holmes by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. I mean, there's a wealth of stories within here. This one also has some really great illustrations by Sidney Paget. So, I mean, it would keep me busy for some time. Thank God I'm not a super fast reader. But, yeah, I'll go with that one, I guess. And the last one is number 10. Funko Pops asks you to design its newest line. What characters would you like to see made into Funko Pops? And if you don't know what those are, it's spelled Funko. You can go ahead and Google them. They're these little characters like this. I have one in my room, Doctor Who, and I forgot to bring it for this video. But when Steve Donahue did this one, he had a really great answer, which would be all of the, BookTube. People on BookTube. It'd be funny to have little, characters of the people you watch on your shelves. But coming up with a different answer, I suppose I couldn't think of like any books or stories or movies or things like that I wanted to pick. So instead I went with like my friends and family. I think that would be funny to turn them into Funko Pops. So I'll go with that one. I'm going to go ahead and tag some people. I will put them right over here or somewhere down here. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.